Hello, my friends. If you are a menopausal midlife lady who is struggling, you are in the right place. This is Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine, where we talk food, fitness, fat loss, and faith for ladies in midlife. All right, my friends, I am your host, Chris, and we're going to dive a little bit into my personal journey from an unhealthy relationship with food to finding a little healthier harmony with food. We're going to talk about my certifications and courses and some incredible success stories from my dear doers. So please do stay tuned. And I want to give a shout out of thanks to those that have already reviewed for us. And today I want to read to you one of the great reviews that we got. It says, absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing this with me today. I loved it and I can't wait to listen to more and share with my friends and family. Chris, you are truly an inspiration and have such a beautiful soul. Thank you, Bella Butterfly 86. I certainly appreciate that and it really warms my heart. You all should know that I don't do this alone. I have a great support that helps me pull all this stuff together, and I just really do appreciate all that. So for those of you that don't know, when somebody purchases a course from me or they purchase some of the items on Etsy that I have, 50% of all of those profits go towards unwed mothers. So I support women who choose life and women who are single moms that need extra support, whether that means they need therapy or they need diapers or whatever it is they need. I contribute 50% of the profits on anything that I sell or make or coach, and that is what I call my kingdom work. So if you so choose to purchase anything, just know that it really goes to support wonderful ladies. As I mentioned, I want to give you a little background as to how I came to such an unhealthy relationship with food. When I was younger, my parents began to notice that I was getting, and my brother looked like a skeleton. And so they started to restrict the foods that I could eat, all well-meaning, of course, but they were concerned. And so we would have cheese and crackers before dinner when my dad would get home from work, and I was not allowed to eat anything. And they cut out all my snacks, and they really controlled my portions. And I was a very busy child. I would go bike riding and ice skating and roller skating. I was always doing stuff, but I still had this weight problem, or at least it was a perceived weight problem. I look back at pictures and I just don't see what they saw. But I do understand, as a mom, we do get concerned. As a dad, we do get concerned for our children. And so they enrolled me in what is equivalent now of Weight Watchers, like Diet Workshop, in order for me to learn. But what that did was teach me all about restriction. I was so nervous to eat anything, and when no one was looking, I would binge eat because I wasn't allowed to eat the other times, and it really affected the way I thought about myself. In my teen years, my dad had mentioned that I would never have a boyfriend because boys don't like girls that are fat, and that played on repeat in my head for many years. I am happily married for 31 years now, so clearly that is not the case. But in my teenage brain, I felt like I was never, ever going to overcome that. Now, I'm a very competitive person, so I took that as a challenge, which led me to a lifetime of crazy diets where I tried everything. Everything that anybody else had success with, I tried too. And it led to some really unhealthy practices and habits. I tried keto. I tried everything you can think of, really. Cabbage soup, laxatives, whatever it was, I tried. And so as I got older, my relationship with food, instead of getting better, it got worse. I was always working crazy hours in the bakery, and I would just eat whatever I could to just sustain myself. Sometimes it was a piece of muffin, a piece of bread, a bite of a cookie, but there was no health value to the food that I was eating. And then add that to the fact that I was not really drinking any water, and it was just a recipe for disaster. I started having panic attacks, and I just really was not the example of health that I wanted to be. What I really needed to be successful was to really turn it over to God and just start learning. So I embarked on really forgiving myself for all the crazy, for starving myself, for trying laxatives, for trying cabbage soup diets, for eating keto, for everything. I just said, okay, I'm done. I've tried it all. I'm sorry, body. I'm sorry, Lord. I just was at a point where I just needed to change. Through much study, I decided that the best way to go was to lift weights 3 to 5 times a week, really go after that protein. So making sure that I'm eating like 1 gram of protein per goal weight. Drinking water. I went from 0 drinking water to a gallon of water a day. And really focusing on my sleep, trying to get that really good quality sleep. For me, taking magnesium made all the difference. And I also do CBD that helps me relax beforehand. But we'll get to that in another episode. I walk every day. I make sure that I get a good 10 to 15,000 steps a day. And maybe that's not doable for everybody, but that has been a game changer for me. And it's been a game changer for all my dare doers. Just getting out there in nature is very healing, but also just keeping that movement is working off some extra calories, but it's also just heart healthy. We want to be overall healthy. It was not just about the scale anymore. I really healed my relationship with the scale. I'm not tied to that number anymore, and I've moved on to focus just on health. And this is what I teach when I coach or in the courses that I teach. I have 3 courses now that teach healthy habits and really healing relationship with the scale, with all the past diets. You can just rid yourself. I teach food freedom. I have carbs every single day. I don't fear carbs. Most of them are in fruits and vegetables, but occasionally I'll have myself some bread. I'm an avid baker, so of course that's one of the things that I try to make sure that it's, not overdone. I usually have good healthy fats, so some good avocados, avocado oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter. I love some Kerrygold butter. And then I usually, when I'm working out with weights, I have learned that I'm not just tiring my muscles, I'm really challenging those muscles. So I really try to increase my weights such that it's a challenge towards the end of my workout. I usually do light, medium, and heavy weights. And my heavy, sometimes I can't finish all the reps, but that's okay. That's what we want. We want that progressive overload. We want to keep challenging those muscles and taking it slow. So it's not a rush to get done. And I've said before on podcasts, I don't do more than 30 minutes at a time because I live a very active life. I'm very busy. I teach water fitness still. I sub. I do all kinds of other stuff. You don't want to overtax your body. You can't be doing too much because then there's just a limited return, right? There's that balance, that harmony. Your body has to live in harmony. You don't want to wake up sore every single day and not be able to progress. The absolute key for me, though, is eating plenty of vegetables. They keep me full without tons of calories. And I've mentioned before that I'm a total addict to Korean pancakes. You can get a good 2.5 cups of vegetables in 1 Korean pancake. It's amazing. And they're delicious. If you are a person that does not like vegetables, it's time to pull up your big girl panties and get used to it. Find a way that works for you. If you like Asian food, the Korean pancake is delicious. If you like Italian food, then you start shredding those vegetables and you put them in your sauce, or you make lasagna with vegetables, or if you like Mexican, you start making burritos with vegetables, and you will find that you are no longer quite as hungry, as long as your protein's up there, and all of those nutrients are going to make you feel even more energized. I promise you, it's true. And then a big portion of this where people miss out is accountability. I have a free group on Facebook and one on school. That's SKOOL. And I'll tell you, having to check in every day with a group where you cheer each other on makes a world of difference. Everybody that signs up my courses gets into school with me because you need that community and you need that accountability. Now, maybe one person's taking my total body cleanup and another person's doing a dare. Doesn't matter. We all have the same goal. Our goal is to get healthier. We're really there to help each other. I provide great menus. We have discussions about menus so that we really know what we're doing. meal prepping, having the foods that are going to support your goals and support your journey are really important. For me, if there's tons of chocolate in the house, I'm going to eat it, so I don't leave it in the house. You have to set yourself up for success, right? Because honestly, you can really exercise some willpower for a certain amount of time, but that's not sustainable. And everyone will tell you, you have to be in calorie deficit to lose weight. You have to be in calorie deficit to lose weight. I would rather that you focus first and foremost on getting that protein in there because you're going to be full, and getting those veggies in there, which will also fill you up, and you eat to the point where you're no longer hungry. You're satiated. You're not overly stuffed. You're just satiated. And you will find that your body will tell you when you've had enough. And if you're still hungry, you go back and you have a little bit more, and then you're fine. It's okay to be a little bit hungry, but you don't want to stay in that giant calorie deficit because it's not sustainable. And the minute you start eating more, you're going to start packing on those pounds again, which leads to all that yo dieting. So trust me when I tell you, after working with hundreds of ladies, menopause, everybody's concerned about their menopause belly, but fat reduction is an overall process. You can't really spot reduce, but what you can do is really be consistent. Be consistent in eating your macros. Get that protein in there. Get those healthy carbs with vegetables and 2 fruits, and get that probiotic in there so you have a healthy gut. When I say probiotic, I'm talking about things like kombucha and sauerkraut and kefir and Greek yogurt and dill pickles, which, by the way, help a lot with leg cramps. You want those happy gut, because there's nothing worse than trying to lose weight and you're all bloated, right? It's very defeating. So we want to help ourselves out and make sure that we are doing everything we can to reach our goals in a sustainable manner so we're not going to backslide. It is a-okay to have a treat day, not a cheat day, a treat day where you treat yourself to something delicious that is not necessarily nutritious. So let's say I wanted to have a big ice cream sundae, right? I don't have to beat myself up if I have one. I don't have to go on a diet anymore. I used to dread Mondays because Mondays were my start over days. Every Monday I would beat myself up for the weekend and start over. No longer have to do that because every day is a new opportunity to get better. And I don't have any guilt anymore when it comes to food because I know that I am fueling my body the best I can. And that's all we can do. We're all about progress and we're never going to be perfect. So we just keep marching forward. And it's so important that you stop negatively speaking to yourself. You need to be your own best cheerleader. Every day you start out and you say to yourself,